ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम
ओम
नमो
नमो
भगवते
भगवते
वासुदेवाय।
वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो
ओम नमो
भगवते
भगवते
वासुदेवाय।
वासुदेवाय।
नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं
नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं
नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं
नरं चैव नरोत्तमं
नरं
नरं
चैव
चैव
नरोत्तमं
नरोत्तमं
देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं
देवीं
देवीं
सरस्वतीं
सरस्वतीं
व्यासं
व्यासं
ततो
ततो
जयमुदीरयेत्।
ततो
जयमुदीरये।
जयमुदीरयेत्।
नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु
नष्टप्रायेषु
अष्टप्रायेषु
भद्रेषु
भद्रेषु
नित्यं भागवत सेवया
नित्यं
नित्यं
भागवत
भागवत
सेवया।
सेवया
भगवती उत्तमश्लोके
भगवती
भगवती
उत्तमश्लोके
भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी।
भक्तिर्भवति
भक्तिर्भवति
नैष्ठिकी।
नैष्ठिकी।
Reading from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 18, titled Conclusion, the Perfection of Renunciation. And today's verse is 54, following our last week's 53 verse. Brahma-bhuta prasannatma
ब्रह्मभूत प्रसन्नात्मा
न सोचति न
न
कांक्षति
न
न
शोचति
शोचति
न
न
कांक्षति।
काङ्क्षति।
सम सर्वेषु भूतेषु
नमः
नमः सर्वे।
सर्वेषु भूतेषु
सम सर्वेषु भूतेषु
हरे
न
नमः
कृष्ण।
शुचिं लभते
सर्वेषु
परम्।
भूतेषु
हाँ ठीक है।
ब्रह्मभूत प्रसन्नात्मा
ब्रह्मभूतः प्रसन्नात्मा
न सोचोति न कांक्षति।
न शोचति न काङ्क्षति।
नगरी जाते हैं।
सम सर्वेषु भूतेषु
ओ
नमः सर्वेषु भूतेषु
हाँ तो
मद्भक्तिं
हिंदी में
लभते
लिख
परम्।
जाएंगे तो।
मद्भक्तिं लभते पराम्।
हम्म,
Anyone would like to
हम्म,
lead?
हम्म।
प्रजापति प्रभु usually leads Prabhu ji. If he doesn't,
हाँ
then I will lead.
हाँ 1 मिनट। हाँ ठीक है, मैं फोन करता हूँ। 99% आई विल कम। ओके
ठीक है, लेकिन मैं भी अब तक में डिसाइड नहीं किया।
ठीक है, जो भी हो बता देना।
हाँ ठीक है, मैं जा रहा हूँ तो मैं आपको कॉल करूँगा।
ओके
कल मॉर्निंग
ओके
सुबह होगा तो, लेकिन
ओके
तो जल्दी जाना पड़ेगा।
ठीक है, कोई बात नहीं। हाँ ओके।
ब्रह्मभूत प्रसन्नात्मा
ब्रह्मभूत प्रसन्नात्मा
न सोचोति न कांक्षति।
न
न
शोचति
शोचति
न
न
काङ्क्षति।
कांक्षति।
सम सर्वेषु भूतेषु
सम
तमः
सर्वेषु
सर्वेषु
भूतेषु
भूतेषु
मद्भक्तिं लभते परम्।
मद्भक्तिं
मद्भक्तिं
लभते
लभते
पराम्।
पराम्।
Prabhuji would like to lead?
ब्रह्मभूत प्रसन्नात्मा
ब्रह्मभूतः प्रसन्नात्मा
न
ब्रह्मभूत
सोचति न कांक्षति।
प्रसन्नात्मा
न सोचति न
शोचति न
न
कांक्षति।
काङ्क्षति।
सोचोति न कांक्षति।
समः सर्वेषु भूतेषु
तमः सर्वेषु भूतेषु
सम
मद्भक्तिं
सर्वेषु
लभते
भूतेषु
पराम्। मद्भक्तिं
मद्भक्तिं
लभते
लभते
पराम्।
परम्।
ब्रह्मभूतः प्रसन्नात्मा
ब्रह्मभूत प्रसन्नात्मा
न
ब्रह्मभूत
शोचति न
प्रसन्नात्मा
काङ्क्षति।
न सोचति न
न
कांक्षति।
सोचति न कांक्षति।
तमः सर्वेषु भूतेषु
समः सर्वेषु भूतेषु
सम सर्वेषु भूतेषु
मद्भक्तिं लभता पराम्।
मद्भक्तिं लभते
मद्भक्तिं
पराम्।
लभते परम्।
In
Word by
Jagannath
word mean.
Prabhu, there is a phase lag after you speak. It comes after some time, Prabhuji.
Okay. Maybe
Let's see if it is
there's
continuing.
slightly
Maybe you have to you have to rejoin. Maybe.
sure. Word by word meaning Brahma-bhuta,
ब्रह्मभूत
Brahma-bhuta.
being one with the absolute.
Being one with the
being one
absolute.
with absolute.
Prasannatma,
Prasannatma,
fully joyful.
Prasannatma. Fully joyful.
fully joyful.
Na, never.
Na,
Na,
never.
never.
Sachoti, laments.
Shochati, laments.
Na, never.
Na,
never.
never.
Kangsati, desires.
Kankshati,
Anshati,
desires.
desires.
Sama, equally disposed.
Sama, equally
Equally
disposed.
disposed.
Sarvesu, to all.
Sarveshu
It's
to
to
all.
all.
Bhutesu,
Bhuteshu,
Bhuteshu.
living entities.
living entities.
Madbhaktim,
Madbhakti,
Madbhakti.
my devotional service.
my devotional service.
Labhate,
My devotional. Labate.
Labhate,
gains.
Gains.
Param,
param,
Transcendental.
transcendental. Thank you, Prabhu.
transcendental.
Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
One who is thus transcendentally situated
One who is thus transcendentally situated
at once
at once
realizes the Supreme Brahman
realizes the Supreme Brahman
and becomes fully joyful.
and becomes fully joyful.
He never laments
He never laments
or desires to have anything.
or desires to have anything.
He is equally disposed
He is equally disposed
towards every living entity.
toward every living entity.
In that state,
In that state,
he attains pure devotional service unto me.
he attains pure devotional service unto me.
Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Anyone who would like to read this page of purport?
Yes. To the impersonalist, achieving the brahma-bhuta stage, becoming one with the absolute, is the last word. But for the personalist or pure devotee, one has to go still further to become engaged in pure devotional service. This means that one who is engaged in pure devotional service to the Supreme Lord is already in a state of liberation called brahma-bhuta, oneness with the Absolute. Without being one with the Supreme, the Absolute, one cannot render service unto him. In the Absolute conception, there is no difference between the served and the servitor. Yet, the distinction is there in a higher spiritual sense. In the material concept of life, when one works for sense gratification, there is, oh, it is not coming,
Misery.
misery, but I am not getting from in my.
No problem. No, let me read this paragraph. In the material concept of life, one works for sense gratification, there is misery. But in the absolute world, when one is engaged in pure devotional service, there is no misery. The devotees in Krishna consciousness has nothing for which to lament or desires. Since God is full, a living entity who is engaged in God's service in Krishna consciousness becomes also full in himself. Prabhu, you want to read the next page? Let me read. He is just like a river cleansed of all dirty
I
water.
was on mute, Prabhuji. I'll read.
Yeah, go ahead.
That's probably.
Prabhuji, for some reason it is not coming fully, but I'll read, Prabhuji. He's just like the river cleansed of all dirty water. Because a pure devotee has no thought other than Krishna, he is naturally always joyful. He does not lament for any material loss or aspire for gain. Because he is full in the service of the Lord, he has no desire for material enjoyment. Because he knows that every living entity is a fragmental part and parcel of the Supreme Lord and therefore eternally a servant. He does not see in the material world someone as higher, someone as lower. Higher and lower positions are ephemeral, and the devotee has nothing to do with ephemeral appearances or disappearances. From from him stone and for him stone and gold are of equal value. This is the brahma-bhuta stage, and this stage is attained very easily by a pure devotee. In that stage of existence, the idea of becoming one with the supreme Brahman and annihilating one's individuality becomes hellish. The idea of attaining the heavenly kingdom becomes phantasmagoria, and the senses are like serpents whose poison teeth are broken. And there is no fear of a serpent with a broken teeth. And there is no fear from the senses when they are automatically controlled. The world is miserable for the materially infected person. But for a devotee, the entire world is as good as Vaikuntha or the spiritual sky. The highest personality in this material universe is no more significant than an ant for a devotee. Such a stage can be achieved by the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, who preached pure devotional service in this age.
Thank you very much, bro.
Prabhuji, I
That's all.
can't. Yeah, page 5. Yep, got
No,
it. Thank you.
that's the end.
Thank you,
Uh,
Prabhuji.
let's all chant together. Agyana timirandasya gyana janashalakaya
Sarvadhanansalakaya,
chakshurmilitam yena tasmai Sri
Tasmai
Gurave Namo
Sri Namaha.
Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena
Stapitam Yena
Bhutale
Bhutale,
Swayam Kadamahyam
Ramayam
Dadati
Dadati
Swapadantikam
Sapadantikam,
Vandeham Shri Guru
Evam Shri Guru
Suyatapadakamam Shri Guru
Shantapadam, Shri Guru
Vaishnavamscha
Vaishnavancha,
Shri
Shri
Rupam
Rupam
Sagrajatam
Satrajatam
Swagana
Sagana
Raghunatha Tam
Raghunathanvitam
Sajivam
Sajivam,
Sadvitam
Advaitam
Savadutam Parijana
Svagadutam
Saitam
Parijana
Krishna
Saitam Krishna
Chaitanya
Chaitanya
Devam
Devam,
Sri
Sri
Radha Krishna
Radha Krishna
Padan Sagana
Padam
Lalita Sri
Sagana
Vishaka Vitamscha
Shri
He Krishna
He
Karuna
Krishna Karuna
Sindhu
Sindhu
Deenabandhu
Dinabandho
Jagatpate
Jagatpate,
Gopesha
Gopinda
Gopika
Gopika
Kanta
Kanta
Radha
Radha
Kanta
Kanta
Namastate
Namostute,
Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi
Vakanchana
Radhe
Gaurani Srimati
Vrindavaneshwari
Vrindavaneshwari,
Vrisabhanusute Devi
Sabhanusuti Devi
Pranamami Hari
Pranamami
Priye
Haripriye,
Vanchakalpataruvescha Kripa
Vyasi Kripa
Sindhuvaya
Sindhu
Vacha
Devicha,
Patidanam
Patitanam
Pavanebhyo
Pavanebhyo
Vaishnavebhyo Namo
Vaishnavebhyo
Namo
Namo
Jai
Namo,
Sri Krishna Chaitanya
Krishna
Prabhu
Chaitanya
Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivas Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare नीलाचल निवासाय
Nivasaya
नित्याय
Nityaya
परमात्मने बलभद्र
Balabhadra
सुभद्राय
Subhadratyam Jagannathaye.
जगन्नाथाय So today, thank you for joining this wonderful Sangha, and sorry for the little bit of a disturbance because of my internet connection. But what a verse today. This is a very powerful verse. Krishna is speaking to Arjuna about. Prior to this, Krishna gave a brief uh, onboarding of the activities wherein he spoke about modes. And finally, he is going to describe about the Brahman platform in the last 5-6 verses. So purified by elevating to Brahman platform, that was 49. Purified by intelligence, purified by habits of staying in a nice place, uh, which is favorable to devotional service, eating limited, body, mind, and words, BMW. And then 53 spoke about, Krishna spoke about removal of toxins or anarthas. And in 54, which is this verse, Krishna is explaining about elevating ourselves, or rather transcending ourselves to a higher platform. So what that means is, Krishna is saying, brahma-bhuta prasanatma nasochoti nakangsati. Krishna is telling to Arjuna, one who is in a brahma-bhuta stage, that means he is seeing himself alongside the absolute brahma-bhuta stage, that person is always happy. Prasannatma. He's always joyful. And when a person has transcended into Brahman stage, as you know, there are three absolute truths described by Bhagavad Gita: Brahman, Paramatma, Bhagavan. Brahman is essentially thinking that I am part of the expansion of the Supreme. What that means, let me try to give an example. When a sun ray is there are certain people who believes that by experiencing rays of the sun or heat of the sun or properties or characteristics of the sun, they can experience sun. That's Brahman. Paramatma is trying to see the Supreme inside our hearts, because Krishna is present in our hearts. That is like going closer to the ball of fire and experiencing it. And then the Bhagavan stage is recognizing that this sun who has rays, who is a ball of fire, but he has a name. His name is Vivaswan. The personalization of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the Bhagavan platform. So thinking or either elevating yourself to Brahman stage is not wrong, but rather it's incomplete. But we are not going to go into that. I was just trying to give an example of the Brahman stage, experiencing Lord as Paramatma, and experiencing Lord as Bhagavan, as the three absolute truths which is explained in Bhagavad Gita in various different chapters. So here Krishna is saying, coming back to this, focusing on this chapter, this verse, brahma-bhuta prasannatma. That means a person who is with the absolute is always joyful. And what are the other properties? Krishna is saying, nasochati nakangshati. That means he never laments. Never laments that I don't have a car, I don't have a house, I don't have a nice family. Never laments. And nakangshati. That means he never desires. Oh, I want to have this, I want to do this. And he's equally disposed to all living entities. Samasarvesu bhutesu. Bhutesu means bhu. Kangshati means it comes from akanksha. Akanksha is desire. Kangshati. It's a beautiful word Krishna is using. Kangshati. Kangshati comes from akanksha or desire. And what does he do? He is equally disposed to all bhutesu, all living entities. And by doing this again and again and again, then he transcends to be my devotee and he gains my devotional service. So sometimes we think this devotional service we are doing, we're trying to build a relationship with the Supreme, is this really, and we're not doing any big mantras, is it really good enough? But Krishna is saying in this verse, Krishna is saying bhakti is the topmost, because by doing Brahman stage, gradually by doing this, is you gain labhate, you gain what? You gain devotional service. But if you get devotional service right from the beginning, then going through this Brahman, Paramatma is not necessary. But if somebody wants to do it, that's fine. So think about this power of this verse is in order to meditate on the external characteristics of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. If you transcend and be with the Supreme in your thoughts, in your meditation, you'll always be joyful. You'll never be desiring something. You'll never be lamenting anything. So Krishna is explaining the characteristics of someone who is in brahma-bhuta platform. And this is what we all should aspire. It should not end there though, but we should all aspire. And then Krishna goes on to say, samasarvesu bhutesu. In Bhagavad Gita, in a prior verse, Krishna mentions that vidya vinaya samparne brahmane gavihastini suni chaiva swapakecha pandita samadarshana. Krishna says vidya vinaya samparne. If you are filled with knowledge, vidya, if you are filled with vidya, what you become? You become vinaya. That means you become humble. Vidya vinaya samparne brahmane gavihastini. A person who is filled with knowledge, transcendental knowledge, material knowledge, but in the right sense, it will make you humble, vinaya. And by doing that, you see brahmane gavihastini. Brahman, cow, horse, suni cheva swapakecha, a dog and a dog eater. And a pandita, you all look at them alike, which is exactly what Krishna is saying in the third line of this verse. What is saying in the third line of this verse? He is saying, samasarvesu bhutesu. You see, Krishna's message in the third line of this verse is what we already went through in chapter 5, verse 18. Vidya vinaya samparne brahmane. So Krishna is constantly messaging his recommendations to us again and again, how to get rid of these toxins from our life, how not to lament. Most of the problem in this world is because of lamentation and desiring things you don't need, but rather you want. So Krishna says, with your knowledge, become humble. Look at the Brahman, cow, Hastini, it's elephant, not horse, as I mentioned wrongly. And Suni Cheva Savakacha, dog and a dog eater. These 5 kinds of folks, Brahmana, very high, cow, not human being, but animal. Then Hastini, which is in the mode of passion, the elephant in the mode of passion. And dog eater, they are even lower. But a person who is filled with knowledge, what he does, samasarvesu bhutesu, he look at everyone alike. And here Krishna says, 5:18, pandita samadarshina. And also, just to add, and here Krishna mentions, Prabhupada mentions in the purport, that a person who is in the transcendental mode of devotional service or aspiring to a brahma-bhuta platform is seeing stone and the gold as one and the same. For him, that doesn't matter. So when you are, and Srila Prabhupada gives the example of when the serpent's poison teeth is removed, he is not at all dangerous to anyone. Likewise, when Hanuman was seeking Mother Sita, he was totally fearless. He could have killed Ravana for all you know. But because he was totally devoted, he was fearless. So our mindset, if this Maya or this material way of life is captivating us, if you become insulated from that, we will become fearless. Unhappiness will cry in front of us and cannot come into our life because we will be totally shielded from the material attributes. Because of the material attributes, we have so much of sadness, we have so much of lamentation, we have so much of desires. Once you shun it, material mode of life, Maya, will will touch in your feet. That's why they say if a person becomes a bhakta, Maya cries to get inside, but Maya can't come in. If you become inert, if you have like a bulletproof vest, you don't care whether a person shoots a bullet. You're not scared. Likewise, if we protect ourselves with bhakti, all these desires, all these lamentations will go away, and we'll look everyone alike, like Vidya Vinaya Samparne Brahmaneha Piyastini Sunicheva Sopakecha Pandita Samadarshana. There is absolutely, we become inert, we become totally. And on that note, why we are having this lamentation, Krishna has mentioned in many places in Bhagavad Gita, because we think that we are the proprietor of certain things. This wife is ours, this kid is ours, this husband is ours, this job is ours. Because we think they belong to me and I'm the proprietor, the sense of proprietorship. But if you think nothing belongs to us, this nature was there, it was created by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In Bhagavad Gita, first canto, it talks about Sarga Visarga, the primary creation of this universe, secondary creation of the universe. We didn't create anything. We came, we led a life, we got benefited, but never ever, because now I could experience that when I'm not able to, take certain prasad items because of some, tooth surgery or extraction, you appreciate the importance of those little items, or even fruits, for example, which you can take because it can internally pain when you go through a tooth extraction surgery. And that consciousness that we are part and parcel of the Supreme and everything belongs to Him, and every progeny of Him is like our peer, we will never hurt them. And if we have this Krishna consciousness, there will be no fights in this entire world, and people will not be fighting among each other. So we can go on and on, but want to recognize the fact that Krishna is explaining, just to summarize, explaining the level of brahma-bhuta prasanatma. So when your lamentation stops, when your desire stops, and you see everyone alike, think that you're gradually advancing in Krishna consciousness, and you're probably getting closer to brahma-bhuta prasanatma. A very powerful verse, but if you take 1% of this verse and put it in our lives, our life will be sublime. Thank you so much. Like to hear your reflections. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Any comments? Any reflections?
So one thing, Prabhuji, this is Amitabh. So what I observed, we are talking about, like, because I saw one of the social media, I very rarely go, but some of the thing is saying, he's my mother, he's my wife, he's my son. So mother passed away at the certain age. Wife is going to maintain certain year. After that, she may go or you may go. At certain age, son also going to college and all. So nobody is with us. So that's what, but still attraction is there. Like she's my mother, she's my son, he's my son, or she's my wife. Why that Maya is there? Like that's what, if Krishna is there, then why this human is going to that path again and again and getting a pain at the end? Again,
Mhm.
you are going to at certain age, again going to the Krishna. Why not is going at the beginning? Like why going to this Maya still?
Yes, yes, Prabhu. Very nice. Very nice. Thank you for a good question. So, Prabhu, when you came to this country, uh, I mean, when I came to this country, let me share my experiences. I had never had bagel in my life. Uh, when I started having bagel in this country for the first time in my life, it was becoming very hard. It was unchewable, unchewable. Then, after some time in this office, you know, weekly get-togethers, I started to uh, take this bagel because bagel doesn't have any unregulated things based on my knowledge. So, after some time, after getting acquainted with bagel, I started liking bagel. After 5, 10 years, uh, I crave for bagel. So the point is, it's all conditioning. If you are, what is this Krishna consciousness? Krishna consciousness is a process of recognizing that we are conscious of Krishna. We're always realizing the fact that everything belongs to Krishna and these are all temporary. If you are conscious, that will not happen. But what happens? We become conditioned. Exactly. I didn't had a clue how bagel is, but once I started having it by conditioning. How this conditioning works? This conditioning works with modes of material nature. The modes of material nature comes in with a mode of goodness. Right in the morning, you try to have a bagel, and then with a mode of passion, you tend to overeat or you tend to give, and you together with a friend, you eat. And then you become so ignorant that this is a, a bulk of needed flour, then you keep on eating. So these modes keep us under the clutches. And but we should recognize that these wife, kids, they're not permanent. The example you gave, they're not permanent. So we should not let the conditioning of this elusive energy of the Lord called Maya overtake us. So if you're constantly conscious with this knowledge, which Krishna is saying, then it will not happen. But we are conditioned
But
and
still,
conditioned.
but Prabhuji, still Krishna is saying that you need to do the kartavya, you need to do the
Yes,
karma.
yes,
So that means those he is putting into the Maya, but at the same time he is putting in the karma. So how that interlink with each other? Because that is another thing.
perfect, perfect. Another great question. So what happens is in the when uh, Bharat Maharaj, not Ram, Lakshman, Bharat, the Bharat Maharaj on whose name this country, Bharat, was made. Towards the end of his life, he started to, he took hermitage, he went to Vanaprastha, and he started to like a deer. Okay. And he was gazing the deer, he was having the deer as a pet. The deer grew, beautiful deer. Uh, he is very conscious. Then gradually, Bharat Maharaj, when the deer became a mother, and there is a an accident wherein a hunter shoots the deer. He recovered the deer, but the deer left. So with so much of pain and agony, he becomes so much involved with the deer that towards the later part of his life, he died. Bharat Maharaj died with keeping the deer in the mind. So the next life, he becomes a deer, and the next life, based on my understanding, he becomes Jada Bharat, where he knows everything because of the prarabdha karma. He knows everything, but he became Jada Bharat. That means he was not speaking; he was Jada. And then there's a beautiful subject matter in Srimad Bhagavatam. We'll not go into. And then Rahugan was riding a palanquin, where Jada Bharat was one of the palkin holders. But when he was going and he would see ants, he would shake. And hearing that and seeing that, Rahugan asked, "Who are you? Why are you shaking the palkin? I'm very uncomfortable." Then Jadbharat said, Jadavara says something in a esoteric way that I am not who I am, and nor you are what you are. Then when he said it, Rahugan was also a very conscious king. He says, who are you? Then there is this dialogue between Jadavarat and Rahugan. So the point I want to emphasize is karma doesn't tell you to be entangled in the result of the karma. Karma is to serve your wife, serve your kid, serve them. But don't get what happens is we get entangled, and then we try to yield proprietorship. And because of that, it is not what you call niskam karma. It is full of desires. That is the thing. So no, Krishna is not asking us to. Karma yoga is a big area in Bhagavad Gita, but Krishna is saying, do your work, but don't get attached to the work or the results of the work. Do your work. As long as you're doing the work and taking care of the family, that's fine. But once you start expecting, na sochati na kankshati, right? In this verse, then it becomes. So we have to be always cognizant that when is this Maya going to entrap us and how we have to unshackle. So we should always have a alert mechanism, like an alarm. That is Maya entrapping us more than what I should be. So Bhagavad Srila Prabhupada never asked us to go and leave everything and stay in Himalayas. He didn't say that. He says, stay within the Grihastha ashram, but practice Krishna consciousness, which is not to have strong desires and expectation from the result of the work. Was that okay?
Thank you, Prabhuji. Yeah.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Any other comments, reflections, Prabhuji? Bala Prabhu, thank you so much for joining this time. We're glad you're back. Yes, Prabhu, Bhakti Ratnakar.
No, thanks, Prabhuji. No, I have no comments. Thanks for the very beautifully explained, Prabhuji. You related with the other verses. Only thing is the Lostrashma Kanchana, that also is embedded in this verse, Prabhuji. That verse also. That's all. I have no other comment. Thank you.
What is that verse, sir, Prabhu?
Prabhuji, I don't know the numbers.
Write down.
There is a Lostrashma Kanchana, means a stone and a pebble and stone and a gold. They are Kanchana is gold, Lostra is basically.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what Prabhupada writes in the purport, yeah. In this verse, yes. Thank you. Bala Prabhu, you have any comment?
Yeah, just a quick comment, Prabhu.
Thank you.
We have so many desires and so many wants and so many things, and we don't put a ceiling on our desire. That's one thing. That is, we see something, we say, oh, I should have the same thing that somebody else has. And so that results in more and wanting more and more. And we don't put a ceiling on it. And the second thing is that we're kind of become jealous of somebody else. Jealous in the sense that, let's say my sister's son is doing very well. And so she comes and says, oh, your nephew has done so and so and so. So I say, wow. So I have a competitive spirit. So I'm saying, oh, my son is also doing this. So I'm trying to compare and compete. So in the process, what I'm trying to do is I'm not accepting what my nephew has done. I'm trying to show off, saying that, hey, not only your son is great, my son is also equally great. So the competitive spirit somehow, we got to suppress this and say, accept. First say that, oh, that's nice. Okay. And then, stop it at that. Rather than that, we keep going. We try and show off what we have done, what our accomplishments are. And so there's no end to this process in there, whole thing. And that's so here basically, the way I understand Krishna is saying that, take everything in the same spirit, and put a ceiling on your desires, as well as where there's the good thing or bad thing, just accept it first before you start saying that what you've done, or what you accomplished, and so on. And that's my basic comment.
Yes, bro. So you mentioned about two things, unlimited control of desires, and we don't know when our limit is. And that is a thing which is, if you have, that's a very good point, because when we get poison ivy in our body and we start scratching, so that acid from poison ivy goes all around the body. It happened to me actually. A couple of years back, 3 years back, my entire body was filled with rash because that acid, uh, because I just couldn't control it, or limit it, which is exactly what you're saying. And that is nothing but we need one car, then two car. It never. Once we know that that's all I need, that will be awesome, and that we should know the trick to control that. And you spoke about envy or jealousy. See, this is to my experience, Prabhu, the envy and jealousy which you spoke about is the last anartha which will take us to hell. Having said that, that is because we don't see others as part and parcel of Krishna. If we see, Krishna says, Aham Bija Pradapita, he is the seed giving father of everyone. That means Krishna is our supreme father, and everybody under him, the person we are envying, is actually a child. So if we appreciate our peer brother, in this example, son of Krishna, who is our peer, and appreciate that that strength in Krishna consciousness will weed out the envy and jealousy from our system, which which is why we should always read, hear, discuss this again and again, so that it becomes a pounding effect on us that we have to check, control. The yardstick is there. It's like a bouncer, Sometimes when you get a bouncer in cricket, but when the bowler lifts the ball, you are alert. So Krishna consciousness is like a alert. It's basically taking a check on us, in the sense that, hey, am I getting too unlimited in my desires? I have to check on it. Am I not considering others as s- the part and parcel of Krishna? Maybe I should stop envying. So this Krishna, beautiful subject matter, Srila Prabhupada has explained Bhagavad Gita from. This Bhagavad Gita is written by Krishna, but people have made different meanings out of it. But Srila Prabhupada's process, which is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's process, is to establish a loving relationship with the Supreme, and that the entire science around it is so fascinating. If you just stick to what Srila Prabhupada has written and discuss it on a regular basis, all the anarthas from our life will go away gradually, step by step. That's all. Thank you so much for participating.
Thank you.
Any other comments before we end? So let's thank everyone and offer obeisance at the lotus feet of all Vaishnavas by saying Vancha Kalpa Taruvescha Kripa Sindhu Vayevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namo Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Grantharaj Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Hope to see you next Friday at the same time. Thank you for your kind attention. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.